Hey everybody, for Lab 9 I decided to do a PowerPoint video, and it's on genetically modified organisms based on the film Food Evolution. Within the film there were different groups with their different thoughts, and so I thought I would just go through them. So on the left, the American consumers, overall, those that were interviewed, agreed that GMOs were bad, but generally they didn't even really know what it meant. But based upon media, they had formed opinions that it was bad. And also within the video was the Hawaii Council, who were a mixture of supportive GMO use, and some were not, as they had people come in and talk about how it had helped and also how it was a disadvantage, specifically with the papaya growers and things like that. Our middle group is the anti-GMO groups and advocates, and basically what their name says, they did not agree with the use of GMOs. And a lot of them were just common citizens. Some of them were farmers, and a lot of them were organic health people, such as store owners or organic health farmers. And then pro-GMO groups and advocates, obviously their opinion again was they agreed with the use of GMOs. They felt that it helped support the sustainability, and they had no concerns in using it. And some of the credentials of those that were there, they had degrees in it, they were scientists, they had experiences with it, they were farmers, they had dealt with it in the past, saw that it helped them grow crops, and some of the concerns that were there were eliminated with the use of GMOs. It also helped, again, with mass production for farmers. Our fourth group is industrial scale farmers, and generally they were very supportive of GMOs because their main concern is feeding America. And so in order to do that, we need mass production, and GMOs were able to help with this. And of course, their credentials was they had degrees in it, or they were phlebotomists and things like that. And it was their livelihoods, and it definitely benefited them because the more product they make, the more money that comes out of it. The organic and small-scale farmers were very pro-organic, obviously, and they did not support GMOs. And their credentials was just the experiences that they had. They felt that it was better vitamins within the natural organic food, and they were just used to that way of life. That was their credential, that they didn't want to change that. Our last two groups is the agriculture biotech companies, and obviously they were in support of GMO usage because they were the ones that had designed them. Some of the credentials again were farmers, the bioengineers, and agricultural conservatists. And then the last area was scientists, and generally for GMOs they supported it very, very much so, as there were no studies done that could completely conclude that it was GMO's fault in such things as growth defects or illnesses. The only one that was supported was possibly allergies, but allergies can also be found in organic food as well. And the credentials for that were plant pathologists, plant scientists, and the list could go on and on there. Some pros of GMOs is there is mass production to feed, again, America. That was one of the biggest reasons GMOs were created, was to help crops. It may supply additional nutritional benefits. It produced herbicides which kill off the pests so that the crops are kept safe. It has longer shelf lives for packing and storing to get to grocery stores. It grows in arid conditions. There are less pesticides used within the products for GMOs, and there is drought tolerance with the use of GMOs. The cons to it, again, it can cause allergic reactions to the human body when consumed, and the GM seeds for some farmers is very, very expensive and they can't afford to use them. It is resistant to pest populations. It can grow that resistance to them, and it also can grow a pesticide resistance. And it is decreased in those natural antibiotics that are sometimes found in organic food. And just some of my concluding thoughts. What I found really, really interesting is how much media really did affect GMOs. Throughout the whole film and food evolution, the scientists adamantly, for most part, agreed that GMOs were very, very beneficial, and they warned people what it would be like without the aid of GMOs, and just kind of overall the fear that was associated with genetically modified organisms. And then the question raised too is, do I agree or disagree? And I would say that I agree with using GMOs, as stated before, that the scientists and those that are involved with the production of it don't see concern or fears within using the product. And I wonder what alternative there could be if we don't allow the mass production of GMOs to be used. What would happen to our agriculture, really, for society? As far as labeling, should they be labeled? I had mixed feelings about it, but overall, I don't think that companies should have to label if they are genetically modified, because there are so many products that say they're organic. And so it would just be a waste of time and money and effort to put them on those products when those that are looking for organic can already find. So, and last is just my works cited of those. If any have more questions, I'll post the link to the film, and I hope you all have a good day.